Good morning to all. We have a very, very special friend of mine, dear to my heart, and he's actually took his time to actually come out and join us for a quick segment. And that's my guy, Mr. himself. It has to be Ivan. Mr. Ivan, how are we doing this morning?
What's up, brother? Happy Friday. Good morning. How we doing today?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored. I can't complain. I like your skyline in the background.
Yeah, man. I just purchased it about 2 weeks ago. I own part of Houston now.
Nice. We're taking over the real estate game. I love
Yeah,
it.
one day at a time, bro. How we doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, man. First and foremost, thank you for taking time of your busy schedule to come out and join us for a quick segment. But for those that don't know, and he will introduce himself, what Ivan, it has to be Ivan. It's all about. I'm gonna brief you in. He's an insurance agent, but he's not an only insurance agent. He is the insurance agent. Ivan, tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll tie in why it's important and on real estate for them to know you and how we can collab on with your services that you actually provide.
Yeah, sure thing, brother. And once again, I appreciate you as well for reaching out. And yeah, so my name is Ivan Morales, born and raised Houston, Texas. I've been doing this. I've been in the insurance industry for about 7 years now. Just recently, I became an independent broker, so which is great for you guys and for me as well because now we have more options when it comes to auto insurance, home insurance, life insurance, commercial insurance. But mainly, what we're going to be talking about today is home insurance, correct? But yeah, I've been doing this for, like I said, 7 years now. I've always teamed up with different realtors. For the most part, the most busiest ones. In this case, Luis, man, he's been on fire for these past years, man. Glory to God. But yeah, so a little bit about myself. I love the city of Houston. I love helping people. I love being out there. I'm a people person. And just because I'm talking to you doesn't mean there has to be a transaction between you and me. I'm genuinely here to help. I'm here to look over your coverages, look over your policies, and let you know whether we're getting ripped off or not, right? It happens, especially today's age. People just want to make that sell, and they just need your signature to proceed. But with people like Luis and people like myself, we're here to look out for you guys and make sure you get the best bang out of your buck and having the proper coverages at the proper rate. So yeah, Ivan Morales is here for you guys.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you, Ivan. And that's really what drives me to invite anybody over is the passion they have behind what they do. A lot of institutions is all about a number. And what we have in common with most of the people that have come on is really having the passion of what we do and why we do it. I know that you're very passionate in regards to insurance and providing that protection for their life, all their assets, and particular one of the biggest assets that they're going to have, which is going to be the real estate side, and that's kind of something that we're going to touch on today. And I kind of want to initiate with that, Ivan. Actually, like, what is the one of the most common mistakes people make when it comes to home insurance as a homeowner? Either as an investor or and just a simple homeowner.
So one of the most common mistakes, and I would say it because I see it almost every day. Um, in this case, one of the most common mistakes is not paying attention to your coverages. A lot of people, all they're looking at is the end result or the yearly premium,
The
right?
price,
The price. That's
because
exactly
it's about the price. Everybody's looking at the
right,
price.
right? So, and I've always said this to everybody: just because a pair of shoes have red bottoms doesn't mean they're actually red bottoms. There's a lot of fakes out there.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, I like
and
that.
and here's what I want to tell you: hey, man, I got these shoes for $25, and they got the red bottoms on there. That doesn't mean that they're the real Louis. You know, 5 days down
Right.
the road, 10 days down the road, they're flapping already. The red fell off. It's no longer red; they're yellow, right? Because they were aftermarket at Payless or something. But what I'm trying to tell you guys before we deviate into this humor, it's pretty serious because here's the deal. A lot of people say, "Hey, man, well, I was able to get my home insurance for let's say 1,200 for the year." We haven't seen those numbers in years, right? Right now, range is anywhere from 3,500, 4,000, $6,000 for the year. A lot of people say, well, that's just too expensive. Insurance it's a fram, it's a scam, they're fraud. Guys, a car is not worth the same what it was worth 5 years ago, right? And you can talk about any make, any model. They have all multiplied in price. Why? Because the price of material, the price of constructing, the everything that gets together to make things happen, everything went up on price because that's just the life that we're living right now. So one of the biggest mistakes that we make, and I include myself as a consumer, we just look at the price. Hey man, it's cheap. Let me go ahead and sign it. Not once are you looking at your deductibles. Not once are you looking at your perils. Not once are you looking at what it covers, what it doesn't cover, or if it even covers in your state. And yes, there's sometimes that we signed as consumers, and push comes to shove, that company doesn't even step into Texas. It has happened, right? But
Wow, that's very crucial.
yeah, so let's take it back down to this, Lewis. It all starts from, especially on the real estate side, it all starts from the seed, when the seed is planted. And when it's the seed, when a client says, you know what, honey, I want to buy a home, right? I want to move into a new home. So what happens? Anybody's their first reaction says, we need a realtor. Or better yet, we're going to drive around and we're going to see what house we like, and then we're going to call the number and and see how much they want for it. It doesn't work that way, right? You have to start with the lender. And then this lender has to get you approved for whatever it is that you can get approved for. But why am I bringing up a lender at this point? Because a lender, if you want to purchase a home, you cannot talk to a realtor or an insurance agent until you get approved through a lender, right?
Correct.
And the lender won't let you talk to a realtor, right? Once you find your house, or better yet, once you speak to your realtor and you find your house, this contract cannot go through without you having home insurance on your home.
It's very critical, and I think it's one of the things that people don't take into consideration when it comes down to closing costs and upfront fees that they have to consider. And it's really important, and that's why I was eager to bring you on, because it's something that we're actually dealing with right now, especially with this high interest rates people are stating,
Yeah.
where deals are falling through because of insurance. And again, going back on the number one mistake people make as a homeowner, or as anybody purchasing insurance for an asset, in this case home insurance, they just look at the price and want to get the bottom line. So how do we get a good bottom line number, and with that complies with what the lender is requiring, but do not miss out on coverage?
Okay.
That's really one of the challenges any real estate agent that may be watching is going through. So kind of want to touch that basis too.
So, and that's a great question. And the answer is the most simplistic answer ever. And it goes to everything in life. Communication. That's all it is. Sit down with your agent, speak up. If you have questions, ask. There's a saying that says,
Wow, that's beautiful. So if I'm a client, and you know what, I've been an insurance client, and I'm sort of, hey, give me the cheapest, but I don't really tell them why.
yeah, you have to say, so here's the answer. Once they give you the cheapest rate, you ask your agent, why is it this cheap? Right? What does it cover? What does it not cover? And at the end of the day, I've learned over the years, right? Because I'm at fault at this. When I first started in the insurance industry, my main goal was to save everybody money, right?
Mm.
And this might be a little dangerous to confess, but we learn from our mistakes, and every mistake is a lesson, right? And what I want to tell you is, look, man, when I first started this 7 years ago, I wanted everybody to pay less, because that's why everybody was looking for me for, because we're paying less, but yet your coverages were at minimum.
Correct.
Right? And it took me about a year and a half or so to realize the importance of value, not
Oh,
price, the importance of value, right? Because push comes to shove, if I'm calling 911, I want to be rescued, right?
mhm.
I don't want to just say, hey, man, yeah, I got home insurance. Do what you got to do. Yes, you do, Lewis. But guess what? You don't have enough coverage. And what's going to happen? Man, well, Ivan told me this, and Ivan didn't tell you anything. You just wanted to pay cheap. That was it,
Yeah.
right? So I ask questions as a consumer. You have to know where your money's going, right?
And you
Ask,
have the right to do it.
yeah, you have the right to know where your money is going. So say, hey, man, why is it like this? Where are my deductibles at? Explain. A lot of people don't understand how the percentages work on a deductible. Where are they getting this percentage from, and where are they pulling it from? Is it your dwelling coverage? Is it your other? You don't know none of this. This is all new language to everybody. But primary, the most important thing to do is communicate. Communication. That's all it is, and you will get the perfect coverage when you communicate.
Wow, that's perfect right there because you're absolutely right in regards to pricing. Because whenever I get something too cheap that I normally pay a little bit more for, or you're running,
Uh-huh.
and it does happen where maybe I was getting ripped off, and really that's the actual price. But I start wondering, okay, what's wrong with this item? You know,
Yeah. Was it
why?
was it refurbished? Like
Yeah,
why?
why is this so cheap? You
Yeah.
know, so this is a great topic you just mentioned because it does make it does have a psychological meaning to it
Mm.
for because there are some people that value price uh, with um, with the amount you charge for something for the amount of value is worth, if
Yeah,
it
yeah,
makes
of course.
sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Now a question, Ivan. So how does home insurance affect real estate?
Well, there's over. I mean, and I go this over every day. There's over. I would say minimum over 10 points, right? But why does home insurance affect real estate? On both, in order down to this, on both real estate side and the consumer side, at the end of the day, it's reducing your financial liability. That's what it's doing,
Oh, I like that.
right?
I like that.
That's
Reducing
what
your financial liability.
that's
You
what
have
it
to protect. You have to protect your asset.
Yes, because at the end of the day, something comes to, if something happens, either the lender's going to have to pay out of pocket or the consumer's going to have to pay out of pocket. And I
Somebody's paying.
and I promise you, it ain't going to be the lender.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you have to have you have to have everything covered. All it is you're protecting your most valuable asset, right? You're having that foundation that if God was able to bless you with this home and you came to that, stage in your life where now you're a homeowner, protect your assets. Look into detail, right? Look into detail exactly what is it that you're protecting, because if it doesn't come out of the insurance company, it's going to come out of your pocket. And I can tell you right now, a lot of us are struggling pocket from pocket, right? So we have to do what we can do to say, hey man, if something were to happen, I have enough coverage to where I know that my asset is protected and I won't be tackled by the insurance company or the lender in this case. You know?
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Most definitely. So how does home insurance pertain from homeowners and for rental properties?
Great question. So you have to understand, and this is a mistake that a lot of people make, and especially when it comes to people who own rental properties. People who call me like, "Hey man, I have a rental property. I have duplex. I have two apartments out here in Houston. I need homeowners insurance." Excuse me? Yeah, I need a homeowners insurance. No, you don't. You need a landlord insurance, right? That changes everything because that house is not. You're not living in that house as the owner who has his rental property. You have tenants living in that house. But
Mm,
why is it important to tie in a in this case a landlord's policy with a renter's policy? Because here's the deal: the landlord policy, it's taking care of the skeleton of the house, right? It's the what we call the building, the structure, right?
mm,
But you as a renter who's living in there, something were to happen to that rental property, your personal property is not taken care of because that does not belong to the person who owns that duplex or who owns that rental property. That is your responsibility to take care of. So renter's property is very important because it takes care mainly of your personal assets, right? And
most
that's
definitely.
why we have to bring that into the picture as well. And we go back to this at the end of the day, guys, whether you're renting or you're owning or you're leasing to own or you're renting to own, You're here to protect your assets, and you have to have that on paper, but you have to be in detail and realize what is it that you're being covered for.
Exactly, exactly. Beautiful, beautiful. So transition over now that you mentioned for as a renter and a homeowner, for those that are actual investors and flippers, what kind of insurance coverage do you cover for those investors or those
Yes.
those house
So,
flippers?
and we go back to this, especially the house flippers, Lewis, and that's a great question.
And what kind of insurance do they need?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's a lot of people that are starting out right now and they're looking at this and they're like, okay, well, do I really need insurance for a flip?
Yeah.
And have you ever had a scenario where they didn't and something happened and out of luck, right? Without cursing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest and the only coverage that you need, right? Um, in this case for the flippers, right? And we're not talking about some little dolphin in the sea, right? Not that type of flipper. We're talking about a person who's investing into a real estate property that is
Massive.
that beat down, and they want to make it better to sell it to the back to the community. And by the way, shout out to all the flippers on in Houston. You guys are doing an amazing job. Lewis, you're one of them. I see the before and afters. They're amazing. Congratulations, guys, right? But what I want to say this,
Thank you.
one of the main and only policy that we need is called builder's risk. That is the only insurance coverage that we're looking for. Builder's risk to begin with. And I think that's the one that tops of all. And it's the main most popular one. Why? Because this covers damage to the building, it covers materials and equipment, and it also covers labor's costs, right? So we have to understand, well, why materials and equipment? Why damage to the building? Guys, it's Houston. And these flipping properties, they don't have a fence around them. There's a lot of vandalism going on. There's a lot of burglary going on, right? A lot of things come up missing from one day to another. Your employees, in this case, your contractors, your architects, they're there during the day for a few hours. But once you leave that property, well, in Jesus' name, I hope everything's here by the next day, right? But this is why builder's risk comes into place because it protects your asset while it's being built. And then once it is built, then we can transition over to a home policy on the potential new owner. But it's all
Mhm.
steps, and we go back again. Communication. We have to know what we're talking about.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Now, where do you see insurance going? There's a lot of talk on insurance agents may go away. That we may be losing that personal touch. I mean, with the natural disasters that are going on, with everything that's going on, where do you see insurance in general going? There's a lot of speculation out there.
You know what, bro? I love that you say that, and it makes me laugh because here's the deal. A lot of people don't know this, and I'm gonna take you down memory lane right now. Now I don't know the exact dates or nothing like that, but the point of the story is where's insurance going? I'm gonna tell you real quick. Back in the day, Sears and Roebuck, the store Sears,
Yes, I do.
they used to sell tires, bro. They used to sell rubber tires for cars. Talking about back in the 50s or so. Again, I'm not sure with the date. And then one day, this individual bought some tires from Sears, and he was driving down the road, and he had a blowout, and he ended up hitting another car. So that man goes back to Sears and he says, "Hey, man, you owe me some money, and you got to help me pay for the damage that I made because it was your tire that got me into an accident." And Sears was like, "Wait a minute, bro. I wasn't the one even driving. You're the one with the blowout." But it struck a light bulb. He said, "You know what, man? That's a great idea. Do me a favor. Meet me here next week." And then he went down his little Rolodex, whatever you want to call them back in the days, and he called everybody he sold tires to. And a lot of people came back to Sears' store. And he said, "Hey, guys, this is what happened. Joe Schmo got into a car accident because of one of my tires. So with that being said, here's what we're going to do. There's going to be a pot right here. I need everybody to put in $20 a week, whether we're going to use it or not. Everybody needs to come deposit $20 here. And then if something were to happen and we see another accident, instead of coming out of my pocket, we're going to come to this pot and we're going to pull money from this pot to pay for Joe's damages or for X, whoever damages." And everybody agreed. They're like, "Man, that makes sense, man. So you need to tell me we're creating a pot where we can pull money out by all of us working together and pay for our damages. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So guess what, bro? As the years went by, more accidents started to happen. And they're like, hey, man, those $20 a week ain't enough. Well, now we got to put $40 a week. Okay, cool. But more people started to join. Well, that's exactly what insurance is. It's a huge pot of money rolling around that when depending on the group you belong to, that's how money is being worked. So when you see a rate increase, well, mainly a lot of people in your group, Progressive, State Farm, Allstate Farmers, a lot of people in your group, there was a high risk of accidents. So now we need more money to replace those damages. But to answer your question, why am I saying this? Because you're saying insurance is going to go away. It will never go away because at the end of the day, we all need help. We all need help, and we cannot get help unless we're all working in this together. There's no way we can do with insurance away today. When you're driving down the road, Lewis, and you go hit a Maserati,
Ah,
and there's no more insurance. So I need you to cough off minimum at least $120,000 for the right side of the car that needs to be repaired.
hmm.
I mean, where are you gonna get the money from? Even if I call my grandma, bro.
Well, grandma may have it.
Yeah, I got $5,
so,
but
so, so talking about grandma. So insurance sounds like a tanda. So
it's
we have a
exactly what it is, bro. It's a modern age standard. That's what it is.
yeah. So we have some money reserved, and we put it all together. Something happens, we'll go ahead and cover you.
Yeah. And now let me just say this right now that we're on this live. It's a beautiful Friday today. I love today. It's Friday. TGIF. Glory to God. But here's what I want to tell you. A lot of people say, so you mean to tell me all this time, all this term, in this case, 6-month term for my auto policy, I've been making payments and not once that we what can I say? Not once that I use my insurance, right? Not once did I use my insurance. That means you mean to tell me that I threw all my money away? No, stop thinking that way. What happened was in those 6-month term, you were protecting the risk of potentially being in an auto accident.
And I guess everything's subject to interpretation because for those that have gotten into an accident, they see the value of having a home insurance, having a car insurance, even
Oh,
life
yeah.
insurance.
Life
You know,
insurance takes a huge part in this, man. And there's a lot of things that we look at. And unfortunately, the way things are right now, not just in Texas, but in the United States of America, we want to put a money sign behind every decision that we make.
and I want to touch on that a little bit more. Um, what would be the number one tip that you would give somebody buying a house today, but that relates to life insurance without going too much in depth? They can contact you, uh,
Yeah.
but I think that's another asset that we definitely we just want to nibble on and touch on
Yeah. So,
because
and real quick on that, brother, here's the deal. And it pertains to building a home. Once you lay the slab on a house, if it ain't concrete, if that foundation is not strong enough, I promise you, I don't care how beautiful that house looks, it's going to tumble and fall because the foundation is not strong, because the foundation is not set. That's exactly what a life policy is. You're setting a foundation to the rest of the to protect the rest of your assets, whether it's your home, your autos, your children, your family members. This life policy protects the unexpected. So when God forbid you're no longer on this earth, your legacy is taken care of. And I say
mm,
legacy because you're not no mediocre human being. Everybody here has the potential to be as big as they want, right? But life insurance comes into play because that's where we're literally aligning all of our assets and say, look, if something were to happen to me, things are taken care of. And you don't have to wait till you see the Lord and to make this life policy work. There's a lot of products. There's a lot of products out here that let you pull some money out as you're alive and enjoy it with your family and do what you have to do. But you can always talk to me about that another day. But yeah, man, life insurance is the foundation to your most valuable assets.
yeah, your life too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm passionate about how you're speaking because there's a lot of tools, especialmente para todos los hispanos que están viendo, que de repente nosotros podemos tomar ventaja para nuestro futuro. Porque la cuestión es que sí, trabajamos muy bien, muy fuerte, pero a veces no trabajamos con nuestra inteligencia que Dios nos ha dado para hacer provecho de ese tipo de, ¿cómo se llama?
De
Herramienta que
decisiones.
tenemos,
Ujú.
herramienta que tenemos para nuestro futuro, para nuestra próxima generación. Y entonces es muy importante
Bueno,
tocar eso.
y ya que le aplanaste al botón de SAP, porque ya estamos hablando español, me da gusto que hiciste eso. Mira, es cierto, y especialmente para la gente, nosotros, la gente hispana, batallamos bastante. Y sobremente todo este segmento, lo que tiene que ver, lo que estamos platicando, es que a todo le queremos poner precio. Y entre menos, mejor. Y no siempre va a ser así. A veces
Ujú.
entre menos, peor. ¿Verdad? Entonces, a lo que le decía mi hermano Luis, siempre tenemos que preguntar, 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 porque la comunicación y la claridad es lo que nos va a ayudar a hacer la decisión, que probablemente nos ayude bastante en el futuro, ya sea para la casa, la compra de una casa, la compra de un carro, o sea, cualquier decisión que vas a hacer que es importante en tu vida, es tener esa comunicación y claridad con tu agente, ya sea de bienes raíces o de seguros, pero que lleguen al punto donde dices tú, ¿sabes qué? Aquí estoy en buenas manos y ahí sé lo que tengo que hacer y vamos a darle con todo.
Exactamente, exactamente. Bueno, Iván, antes de que te deje ir, any secret or strategy that a homeowner can use to save money on insurance para que se puedan estar preparando?
Yeah, pray, bro. That's it. No, man, it's just, there's no secret to this. It's just a matter of what you know, and you don't know if your mouth is shut. Open your
Yeah,
mouth, ask questions.
ask questions.
That's it. Ask
So the
questions,
main pointer: ask questions,
communicate.
discover, communicate, and ask for Ivan.
Yeah, for all your insurance needs, not a home business or life. It has to be Ivan, guys.
Ivan, in all reality, how can people contact you?
Oh, it's easy, man. You can either reach me on my website, on my Instagram under It Has to Be Ivan. That's going to be it has, and then number two, the letter B.
Will you kindly put in the comments so people can put it there?
Oh, for sure, yeah, man. Let me go over here and see if I can get on here. Uh,
But you can go ahead and say it and add it on there. What's it? What
yeah.
is it?
So it has to be Ivan. So ITHAS, and then the number two, and then the letter BIVAN. It has to be Ivan. That's my Instagram tag. But then you can always reach me at the office number, my number as well, 832-507-7887.
832
507
507
7887.
832. Ivan,
Yeah.
thank you very much for joining us today. I know you're a very, very busy individual, and I really appreciate you taking time. I hope it's not the last time. There's so much. This is just a little segment of what insurance does. There's so much behind it, and so much tools that a lot of people can take care of. So I definitely want to bring you back, and hopefully we can have more chats. And anybody else has questions, concerns, feel free to shoot us DM. We'll be more than happy to answer. Hopefully in this next segment, or reach out to us through our social media platforms, and we'll be more than happy to reply back to you guys. Appreciate everything, bro. Much love.
Hey, likewise,
Concord,
brother.
Concord, Houston, Texas.
Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
to see you soon again.
Likewise, brother. God bless you, man. Big hug to you.
All right, brother.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.